Hello, welcome to the August episode of Drawing Out the Dreaming, where I share with you my deep love of plants and how I work with them, growing, painting and making potions and lotions with them. There's been little sunshine this month here in the Cotswolds, and it's the first time in over 30 years that we've been home in August, as we usually take our paints to Italy, but like for so many, travel just isn't possible this year. Because we're usually away in August, there isn't really a lot of colour in the main garden at this time, so instead I've been focusing on the pots along our kitchen pathway. I've really enjoyed growing dahlias for the first time this year. I've been giving them a weekly feed of liquid seaweed. I've been saving all our empty eggshells, and I crush them around the base of the plants to deter the slugs and snails, with moderate success. I ordered most of my dahlias from Sarah Raven's online shop, and I've been really pleased with their quality. I'm planning to plant these small Mexican fleabanes directly into the gravel this autumn, and hopefully they'll spread by next summer. Yesterday, John and I moved the pots around outside the kitchen door to create a small seating area under our washing line, just to make the most of any fleeting moment of sunshine. It faces south and is sheltered, so it's a good spot for morning coffee. And looking ahead, I've just put in an order for spring bulbs to go into the pots when the dahlias have been emptied and stored for the winter. And now we're just starting to prepare for our annual exhibition, which will be in late October. The first job is clearing and tidying the studio. It always seems daunting clearing a year's debris and mess, but it has become part of the annual ritual of preparation. We always vow to keep it tidier between times, but I actually work better surrounded by all my drawings and tracings and gilding materials, and it just keeps building up throughout the year. This will be our 33rd exhibition to be held in the chapel studio, but only the second one to be held in autumn. The space has a very different quality from all our previous midsummer exhibitions, as the nights draw in early, but we really enjoyed the contrast last year, and we've decided to keep it to late October now, even though we had to close only halfway through last year due to another lockdown. Watching archive footage of the previous year, the tidied studio, helped spur us on in our mammoth annual clear-up. All our paintings have just gone to our lovely framers in Cirencester now. It's always exciting to collect them and see them afresh and beautifully framed. In this year's forthcoming exhibition, John will focus on paintings of our locality. Rodborough Common looks so different depending on daily variations in light, and is endlessly inspiring. He'll also have paintings of Cornwall. We celebrated his 65th birthday in St Ives with all our family. He loves painting the sea and reflections, especially in winter. We enjoy the rhythm of the year preparing for the exhibition. Even though it shifted from midsummer to autumn, the process is still the same. Due to the COVID regulations, we held our exhibition by appointment last year. It worked well, being able to spend time with people individually, so we'll do the same this year. These are some of my paintings from the exhibition last year. This first one is called the Ockham Wood. It shows an enclosure of the 20 indigenous trees and shrubs from the Ockham alphabet, and each one symbolises a different virtue. For example, birch means new beginnings, oak is endurance and strength, apple fertility, rowan enchantment, and bramble for protection. There are layers of magical symbolism in each painting. And this is the Apothecary's Garden, a mandala of sacred geometry and alchemical symbols. It's centred in an Elizabethan knot garden and planted up with the herbs that would have been used by the apothecaries of the time. And this mandala is titled The Triumph of the Moon, after Professor Ronald Hutton's excellent book of the same title. It depicts the animals, insects and plants that have long been associated with the cycles of the moon, and the underlying symbolism is portraying the eternal balance between the light and the dark. This large mandala was part of my Mundus Imaginalis series. It depicts a dreamland throughout the seasons. As with the globe that I painted for Royal Geographic Society exhibition, the gilded mapping lines represent the interconnectedness of every living thing. My ongoing herbal apprenticeship led me to a fascination with alchemy so rich with hidden symbolism, and tracing it back to its roots in ancient Egypt, it led to a series of Egyptian-inspired illuminations woven with alchemical symbolism. My particular interest is with plant alchemy rather than metal or other substances, and this is reflected in the plants portrayed in this series of paintings. The iris that is the bridge between worlds, and the poppy of dreams and visions. Because of the complexity of the layers of hermetic symbolism in these paintings, I write a full explanation to accompany each piece in my exhibition. A lot of my illuminations reflect the theme of divine balance of light and shadow. Here it's depicted by the white swan, whose reflection is dark. The river is a recurring theme for me in my paintings. It's an allegory of our journey through life as it passes through the seasons. Water symbolises emotions and our subconscious. It has the power to distort reflections or mirror them. So much diverse nature is to be found on, in and around a river. I've dreamed of horses many times over the past few years. This painting again holds the symbolism of the dark and the light and essential balance. The silver threads were inspired by a dream I had after reading Suzanne Simard's work on the communication between trees. I dreamt that birch trees were whispering to each other, and the silver lines in this painting represent their threads of communication. And this painting, of horses being conjured from stardust by Sagittarius, above the Wiltshire chalk white horse, references the beautiful, poignant Mari Lloyd song that Hugh Lupton passed on to Chris Wood. I was mother of all the herds, 10,000 years, my shining foals, bridled with starlight and saddled with gold. My talented friend, Hannah Willow, made me this exquisite necklace with that stanza engraved on the back. It's very precious to me. The white stag often appears in my work. It's a symbol of freedom and of the lost ancient wildwoods of Albion. We were privileged to see one once in Dorset running through the fields. I worked on a series of several paintings over the past few years on the theme of therianthropy, the art of shape-shifting that shamans use to enter into the spirit of an animal by donning masks, skins or feathers. Some of them, such as this one, reference the Mabinogion cycle, a series of 4 Welsh medieval manuscripts. I thought I'd show you just a few of the 15 paintings that will be in this year's exhibition, which are all part of the divination card set that I'm creating as part of the ongoing Weeds in the Heart project with Nathaniel Hughes. This painting depicts cleavers or goosegrass. It's wonderfully cleansing when drunk after steeping in cool, fresh spring water. The kingfisher, the halcyon guardian of our waterways, is standing sentinel on the chalice well symbol, which is known as the Vesica Piscis. The fish is the salmon of wisdom that dwells in the sacred well of Sagai's. The silver birch, Beith, the first letter of the ancient Ockham alphabet, is the tree of Cerridwen, the formidable Welsh goddess of the cauldron in the tale of Taliesin in the Mabinogion cycle. And it is my own totemic tree. My grandmother carried her name. And the primrose, pale herald of spring, it grows thickly in our hazelwoods in our valley, and her medicine stirs deep memories of childhood and an exquisite melancholy in some people. And the blackbird, whose song is such a sweet announcement of spring, is guarding his nest of eggs, which is the symbol of new life. Another form of the Triskel is featured here as a continuous triple spiral, life without beginning or end, the flow of continuity. The bramble, a being to be treated with respect. Muin in Ockham, it is a protector of small birds and mammals, creating a haven of safety for vulnerable creatures. The spider's web is another symbol of the interconnection between all life. The nest here represents sanctuary, held within a protected space. This is one of 5 of the series of paintings I've completed so far, that have evolved into invocation cabinets, like my first Amanita muscaria cabinet that I made last year. In them, I'm incorporating the physical plant specimen with its alchemical medicine and symbiotic wildlife familiars. These are forming a specific body of work that I'm really excited about. I love combining making medicines and potions and collecting found objects with my depictions of the plant. Our daughter's partner Felix, who's a master woodworker, is kindly making them for me at the moment. I'm hoping to begin constructing them by late September. Meanwhile, I wish you a mellow September as we move towards the equinox, and may the plants be with you. So goodbye from me, Fiona Owen, at Old Chapel Acre.